Many residents lost their lives in mysterious poisonous lakes, which are just concerning the most mystical and ghostly bodies of water on our Earth. Even placid lakes with glass-clear water sometimes cover deadly warnings, for those who decide to dive in for a swim, or even set up camp on the beach. And you must get ready because I'm going to show you the most 10 scary mysterious lakes on this planet. Number 10. Lake Natron, Tanzania. There is not a one Lake Natron in Tanzania, killing its occupants, but it also transforms their bodies. Mummified flamingos, small birds, and even bats regularly cleaned up on the borders of the lake. Even scarier, the victims are preserved in stone in their final poses as if trapped in a brief moment in time. Countless microorganisms give the lake, on the shore, a bright orange color, slowly sinking to a bright red and moving toward the center of the lake's surface. Dehydration and fumes from the lake frequently scare away large predators, attracting large numbers of birds and small creatures seeking shelter from their natural enemies. They live their lives on neutron shores, reproduce, and preserve after death. Increased alkalinity and an unusual frequency of hydrogen in the water provides to the regular discharge of soda, salt, and lime. After the result, lake inhabitants don't decay after death. Number 9. Blue Lake Kabardino-Balkaria, Russia. This blue lake is one of the most unique lakes in Russia. It doesn't receive its water from rivers or streams, alternately underground springs feed into the lake under its surface. The blue color comes from the water's hydrogen sulfide sustenance. The lake's depth has been measured at 258 meters, mysterious enough to submerge the sea battle area, indicator with nearly 75 meters to spare, and due to decay of the rock at its lowest depth, it's only getting more difficult. Some experts believe that the Blue Lake hides the world's most generous system of underwater caves below its surface. Number 8. Lake Michigan, USA. Lake Michigan in the United States is one of the 5 special lakes apportioned between the borders of the US and Canada. A few people understand that this body of water killed hundreds of lives. There aren't any beasts and the water here is far from dead. Nevertheless, that doesn't eliminate this massive lake from being dangerous. It's all about variable underwater currents that generate rushing riptides. There is a huge risk for swimmers on the shores of Lake Michigan, demanding the lives of a surprising amount of victims. Unexpectedly during the hot season, riptides can suddenly suck people away from the beach with unbelievable force, making rescue essentially impossible. In some cases, in the autumn season, it becomes particularly dangerous for boats and fishers, as directly rising currents on the surface of the water can cause huge life-threatening waves. Number 7. Dead Lake Khendy, Kazakhstan. This lake with a terrifying name called Khendy is located in Kazakhstan. The locals' residents have long avoided it, believing it to be cursed. The resident tells some chilling stories about inexplicable departures and not even necessarily in the lake itself. According to their stories, many have killed, leaving a vast number of bodies at the base of the lake. Supposedly, the most maximum of them was visiting tourists unconscious to the dangers despite what you may think the name doesn't begin from strange escapes. But because of the unusual resources of the water, the lake can't sustain life, no fish, no frogs, nothing. Isolated from that, the lake remains remarkably cold even during the warmest season, and the water doesn't steam despite neighboring bodies of water concentrating twice as speedy. Number 6. Lake of Death, Italy. We know about Sicily, gratitude to the famous Sicilian mafia, and the volcano Etna resting on the island. However, there is extra equally dangerous to call the Lake of Death. The lake contains a high consistency of sulfuric acid. As a consequence, maintaining life is impracticable. Any person that enters the water dies in a few minutes. It's rumored that the Italian mafia practiced this lake to destroy the bodies of their victims. The importance of refusing offers that can't be rejected. It's undecided if the reports are true. But that must be because all the proof was dissolved in this death lake. Number 5. Boiling Lake, Dominican Republic. Boiling Lake is efficiently named because the water boils. The water temperature touches 92 degrees Celsius or 197 degrees Fahrenheit. So don't you dare to think to quick swim, because this may cook you like a lobster. As a conclusion, the surface is shrouded in solid white steam, and swimming is of course strictly prohibited. The lake rests in a volcanic crater and is continually getting hotter. Even when the heat decreases, the fountains of hot air or even lava systematically erupt from the bottom of the lake. Number 4. Lake Nyos. This lake is located in the northwest region of Cameroon, rested quietly for centuries, presenting water for many bordering villages, but under the surface there hid a catastrophic mystery. The lake became known all over the world when the seemingly peaceful waters delivered a deadly force of nature on August 21, 1986. A solid cloud of smothering gas rose from the lake, leaving no survivors. People, livestock, birds, fish, and even arthropods living near its shores all perish. In 1746, human lives lost their life. Experts from all over the globe reached the site of the tragedy. They saw that the lake had been hiding a volcanic crater earlier thought to be dormant. Enormous reserves of carbon dioxide had suddenly erupted through the cracks at the bottom of the lake into the water. The gas stored in a critical frequency, many noxious bubbles broke on the water surface, delivering the lethal gas onto the surrounding populations, sustained by the wind, and the invisible clouds destroyed all living creatures nearby this lake. Experts say that carbon dioxide continues to flow into the connection, and people can anticipate another statement. Number 3. Lake Karachay, Russia. Lake Karachay in the Urals region is recognized as one of the most polluted in the world. A couple of hours natural on the shore is fundamentally like assembling in an X-ray machine for hours, without a lead line incorporating. Needless to say, the resulting death by radioactivity poisoning would be slow, and extremely unbearable. Once a living lake, it was destroyed in the 50s. When it was utilized as a warehouse facility for fluid radioactive waste. Now the water level has dropped sharply, exposing much of the ground below the surface. The Russian state designates large amounts of money annually to reduce the radioactivity levels in the water in the coming years. Once the water is gone, the lake is scheduled to be charged, but defeating the problem won't resolve the sustained groundwater pollution. Number 2. Lake Brosno, Russia. Lake Brosno is located near Moscow, in the river region where citizens believe it hides an antique lizard, and much like Scotland's infamous Nessie, sightings of the Brosno monster have frequently been reported. But clear photographic evidence has never surfaced, and education of the lake hasn't provided any concrete evidence. Experts suggest that local stories of an ancient monster stem from the lake's vast depth relative to its small surface area. The natural dissolution methods at the bottom of the lake sometimes form large hydrogen sulfide bubbles. Once delivered, the gas could suddenly turn over a small yacht, leading locals to mistake these experiences for a beast attack. Number 1. Lake Pustoy, Russia. Lake Pustoy is located in western Siberia. Pustoy, meaning blank or empty in Russian, acquires its name from the fact that it doesn't support creature life. But the question is, what new is right now? Loads of waters can't support life, such as the Dead Sea or many of the lakes in this list explained. However, the chemical arrangement of Lake Pustoy isn't much diverse from that of the enclosing bodies of water. It's even protected for human destruction. Moreover, numerous fundamental living rivers flow into it. That said, erratic fish never swim into the lake, because they understand the outcomes. Residents also tried to stock the lake with crucian carp, but they all vanished soon after. Explorers have examined to investigate this strange miracle, but results are still unresolved. So if you know more of any mystery, share with us in the comments below. If you liked the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and goodbye, until the next time.